very warm welcome to all our participants. It's a lovely Monday afternoon. We are all set to begin with our today's webinar. Once again, I welcome all our participants to this exciting series where HR Association of India, along with Great Manager Institute, brings before you the 2021 Dialogue Masterclass series on the topic Leading People in Current Times. Great Manager Institute conduct a Great People Manager survey in India and have come up with the list of top 100 managers. And the recognition is powered by Forbes India and Great Manager Institute, where we are fortunate to have 5 managers from the esteemed list who would be sharing their success stories, mantras, hits and misses, and achievements over leading their team in current times. To know more about HR Association of India and Great Manager Institute, I would request all our participants to visit the link and details posted in the chat window. Request all our participants to kindly follow the webinar guidelines mentioned in the chat window. It's my privilege to introduce Mr. Ganesh Poojary, Head Administration, Facility Management and Human Resource, Lodha Group. Would also like to congratulate him over this achievement. He comes with 2 decades of expertise in corporate facility management and administration across diverse industries. A postgraduate from Symbiosis Institute of Management studied in Pune, he spearheads human resource management services and administration at the Lodha Group. He believes in building future leaders by creating growth opportunities for his team. He encourages them to innovate, keep them engaged, and provides matchless solution. You can follow him on LinkedIn. The link for the same has been shared in the chat window. Once again, I would like to congratulate you, sir. We are extremely excited to have you here. Over to you.
Thank you, Peter, for a wonderful introduction. I think thank you very much for HRAA for having this platform and hosting me here. Though Peter has explained good bit of my on 21 years of my experience about my career and everything. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to share my bit of in my way. I'm currently heading the Facility Management Administration and HR Operation for Lodha Group. I pose near about 21 years of experience on diverse industries like managing administration, facility management, HR operations, safety and security, space planning and infrastructure management, or CSR activities. Managing diverse industries like textile, financial services, sports, media, and construction now. Work with organizations like Aditya Birla Group, Star TV, Star Sports, Hotstar, and Lodha now. Yes, also featured in Pope's Great People Manager magazine 2020. It means a lot to me to be featured in the Pope's magazine. As I look back my journey, someone who's coming from remote of Karnataka and working in a day and pursuing graduation in night college and they're on post-graduation and contributing and growing to manage larger and bigger role year on year, it feels me great. Yes, we have been recognized by Governor of Maharashtra for being available on the field to manage COVID pandemic requirement, help serving the needy basic meals during March and April 2020. We served near about lakhs of people across various corners of Mumbai. I take this platform to thank the Pope's team, GMI and HRI and my Lodha team for getting me featured in Pope's magazine for their efforts in assessing and evaluating and getting top 100 out of the 6,000 people nominated across India. Thank you so much for everyone for their contribution. So I am here to share my experience on leading people in current times. I don't know why the current time has picked up, maybe because of the current challenge or future challenge or the pandemic, what we're going through at this moment. I'm very happy for this invite and to share my practical experience in leading people at challenging environment, which I gained from my previous leadership and my current leaders whom I'm working with in Lodha. This platform is open. Sorry. This platform is open for suggestion, discussion, and I want it to more interactive one. Let's connect. Let's pause me wherever you feel that, and we should have more interactive discussion. I see near about 100 participants today. I feel that I would carry something out of these people who are available in front of me, and at the same time, I'm sure that we will share a lot of thoughts and ideas, and at the end, both of us carry something or the other at the end of the session. Okay, I have certain style of operating which I've captured. I don't have any presentation to share. I will only do a talk for next 15-20 minutes. After that, we'll have a interactive sessions, discussion, and then maybe later we can conclude in that way, and we'll leave it to Peter to close the way he wants. The first style of my way of leading is understanding self and leading by example. And there it is rightly said, titles are granted, and it's your behavior that earns you the respect. Leading by example is more effective than leading by command. I hope you agree with me. Let's do a poll. Understand that how many of you agree and how many of you disagree with this. Do I need to do anything to have a poll?
Yeah, they can respond in the chat box. Please share your responses in the chat box. Mr. Poojary, are you able to see the responses?
Yeah. Interesting. Quite a big number of agree. I am not seeing any disagreement. I think we are well aligned with the thought process. I think this session is going to be very simple. I don't need to spend a lot of time. Okay. So since you all are agreed, so we need to clarify values by finding our whys and affirming to the shared organization values. What is your belief system and how it matches to the organization you work for? Let me give an example. How leaders use powers in their role. As every one of you know that every leaders in this world today, two type of power, the positional power or the personal power. Leaders have power in the positional power. Leaders have the power to promote, recognize, reward, or appreciate their employees. Personal power, leaders have power to command respect because of their knowledge, or they enable to connect with employees because employees find them more approachable as a leader. Which of the above? Let me ask a question. Which of the above you think? Which of these two you think difficult to build? Positional power or a personal power? You can share in chat, and then after that we can discuss. Interesting. Quite a few said it's a personal power, and few said it is both. I think for me, it's personal power. Positional power is something you can build by your title, but personal power is just built by your capabilities and the individual you are and how much you practice what you preach. I think it's very difficult to build. Let me give an example of some of the leaders I follow in the organization or previous organization. And the live example I wanted to share here. When we had a 100% lockdown in March, April 2020, we had a set vision to serve lakhs of meals on the street of Mumbai and Thane and Palava. We wanted to people to serve the needy. Okay, organization already decided to sponsor money and the infrastructure and everything. But the most important part is that you need people to go around and serve. On the first day, okay, we have not got a good enough of volunteers, and we had a difficulties to going to the street and serving to the needy. You won't believe, all of my leadership, most of my senior leadership, personally available to serve the needy at the street, including my chairman and his missus. In spite of being a senior citizen of 60 plus at that time, the awareness and knowledge which is created in such a way that moving out is kind of a death, right? It was so difficult in the month of March, April. We were all locked inside and we wanted people. At the same time, there are lakhs of people who are running around for basic meals, right? Everything is closed. The transportation is closed. People can't go out to their natives, or they are stuck in the railway station, or they're stuck in the bus stops. They're stuck in the main highways. We had served good amount of meals on the Mumbai Ahmedabad Express Highway somewhere after Naigaon, right? So we wanted people to serve. So when we saw first day, some of our senior leaders, and including the senior citizen, when I said the chairman of ours, he was himself personally available. That day we had only 10 volunteers to serve. And if your vision is to serve lakhs of meals in a period, and you need a good number of volunteers to serve, knowing that these senior citizens personally serving, and the next day my volunteers have gone from 10 to 300. So this is what it is, leading by example is more effective than leading by command. They had an option of, my leadership had an option of just passing the command, just go ahead and serve. But you had money, you have infrastructure, don't even have people. But how you can lead? By being an example to lead the service. So that is what is my first day of practicing, and I'm completely following this, and this is helping me and my team to serve the better to the organization. So I'm moving to the second practice, what I follow in the organization. I hope each practice, what I follow in my last 21 years of experience, I hope it will be helpful for you if you can note it down. And maybe you can later state, you can tell me that, Ganesh, you can also follow some of the practice what we are following. I'm happy to learn those things. The second practice what I follow is lead by inclusive decision and enable team to act. Lead by inclusive decision and enable team to act. Let me share my company vision first. Our company is guided by the vision of building better life, both inward and outward commitments, from building the world's finest developments for every aspiring home buyer, transforming lives to making a difference in our work culture within the Lodha family. Empowering employees by empowering them and bringing out the best in them. Okay. So this is what is our vision. In the same line, employees leave you if you make them feel weak, dependent, or alienated. So you have to build trust, enable them to actions. Every decision I take always inclusive one. All the tasks, projects, assignments, whatever I get in my hand from my management, it is always discussed within my team. And their inputs, their values, their feedbacks, their way of doing things is always captured, evaluated. Post that, we will submit our project plan to management for the implementation action. Believe me, most of the projects, assignments delivered have achieved great success purely due to 100% involvement of the team and with the regular reviews. I personally practice this style and it has worked me as result in great ownership, mutual accountability, engaged in potentials, and many more. So I always believe in that whatever comes, you as a leader, you have one way of doing things. If you have a set of team, 30, 40, or 50, when you throw this one way of doing things to them, I think you will get 30, 40 different way of doing things. And it's better that you can filter the best one and include everyone in decision making. And when you include team in decision making, then the accountability and mutual agreements and the project delivery will be seamless, and it will be more productive and seamless in terms of delivery. So having said that, we have done a number of initiatives with the team inclusions like COVID essentials kits for our associates who were infected during the pandemics, taking care of their safety requirement, PP kits or COVID essential boosters, or taking care of the sanitization part once they recover from the infections. Oxygen concentrator for us, our employees, our associates, are their dependents or their dear and dear ones. Enhancing their health insurance coverages, because everybody knows that with the COVID, the bills are going up, like hospital bills are pinching everybody's pocket. So the Lodha has taken an active interest in terms of enhancing every individual's health insurance and introduced up emergency medical assistance for associates who are suffering from the health challenges, maybe physical, mental, or whatever it is. We have come with such a plan. All this was great success, and employees, associates have shared a wonderful feedback. And all this possible with the active involvement of my team. Having said that, I will move on to third practice. If you have any questions or if you want to pause me in between, please share your inputs on the chat box. We can discuss and I can move further. Or we can take all the question answer at the end of the session, as Peter said. Great. A third style of me operating is team learning, development, and learning from the team. Team learning, development, and learning from the team. As a leader, you think you have sound perspective, expertise, some great leadership qualities. However, one must always have a dedicated space for learning from and for the team. When we keep things open with team, you will learn newer way of doing things, new thoughts coming in, innovative way of doing things. As I said earlier, you can only see one way of doing things. When you throw things to team, you will see 40, 50 way of doing things. That makes you the winning project. That helps you to be successful in the project, right? So at the same time, I believe dedicated space for learning for your team. That is learning for enhancing skills of your team members should be in place. This will help enhance team and business productivity. I do conduct project-based learning program, both in success and failure scenario, will be discussed amongst team to lead better future. Our end customers generally for the administration or facility management or HR, we generally have end customers are our own internal employees. In Lodha, we call associates. So how do we connect with them? It's very important. You have a lot of policies, corporate governance, process, but how do we connect with them? We come up with the plan that every month we meet 150 odd associates on various business or verticals, on the sectors or the locations. When we take active feedback from them on policies, processes, and the area for us to work on, we understand from them and act accordingly. This will also enable seamless business operation and keep that engagement and connect live throughout. Having said that, I'm moving to my fourth style of leading team in current times. Inspired a shared vision. We can't change our core system unless there is a sustained efforts. But what we can do this is enlist a common vision by appealing to a shared aspiration of you and the organization. And therefore, it is said, personal belief makes an extraordinary things happens to you. The life cycle of employee from onboarding, development, engagement, managing talent, retention, and even an exit needs to be well managed and with a lot of thought. You are the brand ambassador of your organization. In fact, you are the organization for your associated employees. So, the example, resuming office in the new normal, post relaxation offered by the government of India with effect June 2020. Team swiftly came into the action with the in-house strategy and solution for paced reopening of offices. All guidance were diligently maintained and followed. Norms as per new normal at workplace were adhered to offices, and the SOPs is completely prepared in a video format. Also taken all the leadership team and the stakeholders to come to office, and a walkthrough has created to make associate or employees to feel how safe the office is for them to operate. In fact, we were part of Essential. The part of Essential team are allowed to work. We are part of Essential team in some of the areas. Most of the team, Essential team, have shared wonderful feedback. Having staying in a lockdown environment, everybody's and once the environment when they have seen on the office side, they were so proactive, they are so stress-free, and they have more willingness to come to office than staying in home. Amazing feedback we received in terms of resuming office in new normal. So having said that, I will move to fifth style of operating. The fifth one is challenge the process, take calculated risk. Experiment and take risk by constantly generating a small wins and learning from experience. That's why we say no one claimed to achieve their personal best by keeping things same. Some things I follow are sharing how I managed change in my life, both in personal or work life. Enabling through a creating supportive environment for change, new ideas, and taking risk. Answer questions like who will own up? Do I transfer the blame? What if fails? Willingness to aptly challenge status quo, breaking it down for self and the team. By challenging the process and taking calculated risk, we have done some of the wonders in the organization. I will take back to the same example of March, April 2020, when we have taken 300 associates or volunteers to the field, and everyone is aware, it's like a coming out from your house. It's kind of a death, right? And the infection is so high, and everybody is concerned about having infected because of moving or interacting with people. We have created such a wonderful process and ensured that every individual who is part of this COVID meal services are completely geared up with the SOPs shared by Government of India in terms of social distancing, in terms of wearing PP kits, in terms of traveling with a biobubble manner. You're not traveling with any and every, you're traveling with a dedicated transport managed by company. and ensuring that those process is completely aligned, and there is a setup team to ensure that this process is completely aligned and followed rigorously. Having said that, though there are 300 associates, even in fact, we served some of the COVID patients who come for a basic meals. They were standing in the street, they were patient, but we served them also. But in spite of meeting COVID patients, none of my associates, volunteers out of 300 touchwood, none of them were infected. So you have taken the calculated risk, you have served the nation, you have ensured the society is taken care of. At the same time, you maintained the required SOPs and ensure that your employees or your associates are intact. We opened office in a new normal, part of essential services. We have good number of 150 COVID marshals to ensure that we follow the SOPs across locations. Every 1 hour, 2 hour, they take a round, ensure that everybody in the mass, everybody maintain the social distance, no gathering at the cafeteria, no gathering at the meeting rooms, though meeting is not allowed in the physical environment, meeting only with the either virtual, Google or Zoom, though we are currently still on Zoom. So when you challenge the process and when you take the calculated risk, I think winning and managing team is definitely easy. And most important is that the engagement level. I think it's all up to how much you engage with your team, how much you connect with team, how much you understand team, and how much you transparent with your team. I think that makes the difference to be a great leader in the organization. And the last one is encourage the heart. We work with the best, treat them well, and the rest will follow. Or organization is not made of you. You are the organization. Some of the things: celebrating values and victory both. Recognize contribution by showing appreciation for individual excellence, motivators for each team member. Identify internal ambassadors who will role model the proposed behaviors. Driving behavioral change within the organization, one must remember people aren't always motivated to change. Organizers need to understand principle that motivates human change before drawing up elaborate initiatives. So these are 1 to 6 way of my way of working and managing team. Be it pandemic, be it changing environment, be it any kind of situations. I think these are all my personal way of managing things. I believe that it's definitely going to help some of you. If you believe in all these practices, I think it's very practical approach what I follow. A very minimal book concept, but yes, the practically what is possible in the current world, in any circumstances, I apply all the 6 and try to win the situation. Peterson, I'm done with my session. And before that, I would like to thank 100 plus participants today making your time. And I also want to apologize for not having session planned last week because of some family crisis, and appreciate for taking time out and making it possible today. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Poojary. Um, there is one question which I would like to ask all our participants as you were sharing the types of practices that you follow. I would like to ask all our participants, out of the practices shared by Mr. Poojary, which one so far that you all would agree uh, to the most compared to all the practices shared by him? I would request you all to please share your responses in the chat box. Which of Which of the practices shared by Mr. Poojary do you feel are the ones that you all agree the most? Please do share your responses in the chat box. Okay. Before we take further questions from our participants, we will be running a poll. Would request all our participants also to share your feedback on our today's session. While you're doing so, would request all our participants to kindly post your questions in the chat window. Once again, I thank all our participants for joining our session today. We have received a lot of inquiry about the participation e-certificate offered by HRAI and GMI. You can claim your e-certificate by sharing your details. When I say details, that is your name and the session attended in an email to the email ID provided in the chat window. Please ensure you do this by end of the day today. We will email the e-certificates to you based on details received. Thank you, Nilima, for sharing your response. So, Mr. Poojary, we have one questions. So, would like to take them. Can we take them right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we have a question from Gayatri. So, would like to know about retention strategies used in your organization.
So I'm sorry, Gayatri. I, I take a pause here. I can't take these questions. Definitely, I will ask some of my HR team to touch base with you and separately say those strategies.
Sure. Okay. We have the next question that is from Tushar. What approaches do you advise that can be used in developing agile and resilient leadership talent during the VUCA times?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, please? I will
Yeah,
read it otherwise.
yeah, the question is from Tushar. He's asking, what approaches do you advise that can be used in developing an agile and resilient leadership talent during VUCA times? Sir, are you able to hear us?
Yeah. So it's all depends on the situation to situation and the organization to organization and leaders to leader. Okay. You have to evaluate based on the situation and build a strategy how you can address those situations. So I won't be in a position to give more details at this moment.
Thank you, sir. We have our next question that is from Jugal. He says, sir, involving people in decision making might also trigger differences in opinion. How do we make optimal decisions then?
It's very easy. I think, yeah, you might have a difference of opinion, but that will definitely help. It's all depends on how you manage that situation, right? Um, when you have 100 of people involved in any decision making, you will definitely take a poll there, right? So you have the percentage of people giving a single approach of driving certain situations. We'll have to take those situations. It is not that decision making involving 1,000 people. You are not taking a decision in isolations. You are taking a decision in front of your entire team, so that you are not alone deciding. The team is deciding for that situation.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so we have received multiple comments stating that it was a wonderful session and they've appreciated the entire session. I'll just check for other questions. Okay, there is one question. What is a good and a mature leaderships look like during the pandemic? What are those key traits that have helped leaders to maintain business continuity without much friction? Any examples that you could share?
So I have given one example, started the session itself. Okay. Leading by example, I think it's very important. Pandemic, everyone was scared. Okay. You have money, but you know that with the money you can't buy lives, right? So you have to lead with example. So we had all option of sponsoring money, but we didn't have a team to go around and take and help the services. So you be a role model and you be first and rest will follow.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, our next question is how is a result oriented strong leaders can imbibe the organization purpose and objectives and further reciprocate the same in their roles or action? How a result oriented strong leaders can imbibe the organization purpose and objective and further reciprocate the same in the roles and actions that they perform.
So every leader balance it. No leader will follow one approach, right? He has to balance the situations. He has to win. He has to manage situation. He has to drive the business at the end. I think if you have the balance approach, I think you will be in a position to win the situation.
Truly appreciated, Mr. Poojary, for all that you have shared so insightfully. It was indeed a great session. Key takeaways that is the different styles of leadership that you have shared with us. And when we talk about the personal and the positional power that you well explained to us, it has been a pleasure being with you today. I'm sure our participants have had a lot to learn and take away from this session. I sincerely thank Great Manager Institutes for their association and support extended. This session would not have been possible without Great Manager Institute, where we are privileged to be working with them on these series. Though we are all though we all know about Great Manager Institute, I would also want to welcome Ms. Linima Gulavani, Chief Operating Officer, Great Manager Institute, to talk more on Great Manager Institute. Over to you, Nilima. Ms. Nilima, are you there?
Hi, Peter. Am I?
Uh, yeah, we lost you. Your voice is not clear.
Just 1 minute. Facing an issue.
Sure.
Okay, I think now I should be audible.
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Thanks, Ganesh, for the wonderful session, for sharing your best practices as a great people manager. I think all of us have some or other takeaway that we can, go straight and implement at our teams. I see Poonam in the audience as well. Thanks, Poonam, for helping us conduct this session. It would not have been possible without you. This is the last session in this series. I wish to really convey my heartfelt thanks to HRAI for coming up with this wonderful idea approaching us, and I think the series has been just phenomenal. I will take a minute to talk about GMI. All of you know already, if you want to get your managers assist, make them eligible to get recognized in the media like Forbes, along with Great Manager Institute, we are here for you. If you want to develop your managers, considering the current situation and current demand that they face from their leadership teams in terms of how they can lead their teams, we are here for you. Do visit us at gmi.world, use the coupon code HRAI10 so that we can give you some sort of a discount. It was a wonderful pleasure to have you all. I must thank you also for being a wonderful audience. And thanks, Peter and Sham, for conducting the sessions so beautifully well. We look forward to many more sessions and so that all of us, get enriched by the knowledge of others. Thank you so much. Back to you, Peter.
Thank you, Nilima, for letting us know about Great Manager Institute, and thanks for the benefits extended to HRAI members. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Poojary, for this beautiful session. We would love to host you again very soon. Thank you. We would like to also thank all our participants for joining us today. Do join us for our next session on connecting the dots on the topic wellness, improving the understanding of engagement on the 3rd of June 2021. Request you to kindly register for this event and the link mentioned in the chat window. That's it from our side today. See you soon. Stay safe, take care, and bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sham. We hereby conclude with our today's session. Thanks to all our participants.